In this lesson, you will learn about minor key signatures. As you watch this lecture, I would encourage you to pause the video to take notes, rewind to listen to material that may not have been clear at first, or fast forward through topics that you are comfortable with. After you've watched the videos, you can work through the practice exercises on Canvas. If you have any questions, post them to the discussion board. I would encourage you to answer your classmates' questions on the discussion board as well. The TAs and I will check in periodically to moderate. You must take the short quiz before coming to class. You are welcome to take it as many times as you like and to use whatever materials you have at your disposal, but you must score 100% in order for it to count. Before starting this lesson, you should be comfortable with major key signatures, and you should be able to spell minor scales beginning on any note with ease. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to, given any minor key, provide the key signature. Given any key signature, provide the appropriate minor key. You should be able to understand the circle of fifths and be able to reproduce it. And given a major key, you should be able to provide both the relative and parallel minors and vice versa. A key signature is a shorthand method of indicating the accidentals required in a piece. It appears at the beginning of every staff, after the clef, and before the time signature. You'll never have sharps and flats in one key signature. Here's the C minor fugue from Book 1 of Bach's Well-Tempered Clavier. Below it, I've written out the C minor scale. You'll notice that Bach has altered scale degrees 6 and 7 in some places. For the moment, I'll ask you to disregard the F sharp in the last measure. As with major key signatures, we simply take out all of the accidentals needed to build the scale and we put them at the front of the staff after the clef and before the time signature. C minor has 3 flats. Remember, it takes C major and lower scale degrees 3, 6, and 7. And so that's why we have in the key signature. The alterations do not go into the key signature. For instance, the B natural does not go into the key signature. I would encourage you to pause the video here and to find a recording of this piece on YouTube or via the library streaming audio sites. Listen to it and follow along with the music, or better yet, try playing it on your own at the piano. I also want to take a moment to mention that musicians tend to use capital letters when referring to major keys and lowercase letters when referring to minor keys. You can see here I've indicated C minor with a lowercase c, C minor with a lowercase c. Same thing here, E flat minor, E flat minor. This example is by Chopin and it's from his E flat minor prelude, opus 28. Again, I would encourage you to pause the video and find a recording to listen to. The piece is in E flat minor, and there are 6 flats in the key signature. You can see that the leading tone, D, is raised in both measures, but scale degree 6, C flat, is not. I've extracted the scale and included it below. When we build key signatures, the sharps or flats always appear in a specific order, and that order is the same for both major and minor key signatures. Sharps appear in the order F, C, G, D, A, E, B, and flats appear in exactly the reverse order. This ordering is also cumulative. You will never have a key signature with just a D sharp, for instance. You'll always have F, C, G, and D sharp. You'll never have a key signature with just E flat. You'll always have a B flat too. The sharps and flats always appear on specific lines or spaces. For instance, the first sharp in the treble clef, F, always appears on the top line. The last sharp, B, in the bass clef always appears on the second line. It's crucial that you know not only the order of sharps and flats, but also their correct positions on the staff. This is also the exact same in both major and minor. The circle of fifths is a handy tool for thinking about key signatures. It's basically a clock face, and each hour corresponds to the addition or subtraction of an accidental. If we start at 12 o'clock, C major, we can see there are no sharps or flats. If you look at the innermost ring, you'll notice the minor keys that share a key signature with this major key. For instance, the A minor also has no sharps or flats, and it appears in the same slice of pie, if you want to think of it that way, the same pie slice as C major. If we go over to 1 o'clock, where we have the key of G major, we've added one sharp, and that's an F sharp. E minor also has only one sharp in the key signature, and so it appears in the same pie slice as G major. What this suggests is a more general relationship between major and minor keys. Scales or keys that have the same key signature but different tonic pitches are known as relative keys. C major and A minor are both relative keys because they have no sharps or flats in the key signature, and their tonic note is different. B major and G sharp minor are also relative keys. They both have 5 sharps in the key signature, but their tonic notes are different. There's another relationship that obtains between major and minor keys, and it's basically the reverse of relative keys. Scales or keys that have the same tonic but different key signatures are considered parallel keys. For instance, C major and C minor are parallel keys. Both start on the note C, but C major has no sharps or flats, and C minor has 3 flats. E major and E minor are parallel keys. E major has 4 sharps, E minor has 1 sharp in the key signature, but they both start on E. If we return to the circle of fifths, we can see that relative keys are listed in the same pie slice as one another. Parallel keys can be found by moving 3 steps counterclockwise. For instance, if we wanted to find out the parallel minor of C minor, we could just go 1, 2, 3, and you can see that C minor is in this inner ring here. If we want to find the relative minor of D major, we can just go 1, 2, 3, and here's D here. We could also do something a little more complicated, like finding out the relative major of the parallel minor of C major. So I'm going to start with C major. I want to find the parallel minor, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. That's the parallel minor. And the relative major of that is going to be E flat. So the relative major of the parallel minor of C major is E flat major. We could do something like find the parallel minor of the relative major of F sharp minor. Well, we start with F sharp minor, and I want to find the relative major, and that's A. And then to find the parallel minor of that, I'm going to go 3 steps counterclockwise, and that is 1, 2, 3. And there I have it, A minor. So the parallel minor of the relative major of F sharp minor is A minor. The circle of fifths is a useful tool, and I would encourage you to study it carefully and be able to reproduce it. You will also be expected to memorize all major and minor key signatures, and to be able to quickly give parallel and relative keys. Now that you have an understanding of key signatures and how they work, they're very easy to memorize. To bring things full circle, if you have the key signature memorized, it becomes very easy to build a scale quickly. For example, if you know that the key signature for B major has 5 sharps, and you know that sharps always appear in a specific order, if you're asked to write a B major scale, simply write the notes from B to B and add 5 sharps in the order F, C, G, D, A. At the end of this lesson, you should now be able to, given any minor key, provide the key signature for it. Given any key signature, you should tell me what minor key it corresponds to. You should be able to understand the circle of fifths and be able to reproduce it. And you should be able to, given any major key, provide both the relative and parallel minor and vice versa. Feel free to watch all or part of this video again. It's very important that you know this material before coming to class. We will not take class time to go over it, but we'll put it to use during some in-class activities. Make sure you work through the practice exercises on Canvas. If you have any questions, post them to the discussion board. Take time to answer your classmates' questions on the discussion board as well, if you feel comfortable doing so, and the TAs and I will check in periodically to moderate the discussion. Last, make sure you take the short quiz before coming to class. You're welcome to take it as many times as you like and to use whatever materials you have at your disposal, but you must score 100% in order for it to count.